Hey everyone, welcome back to 996. How Utah loses 6-2 to Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals. A rough one. This was a tough one to watch. I mean, patience is definitely being tested, at least for me. I'm sure maybe a lot of you still in that honeymoon phase, still enjoying Utah hockey. This game started out pretty well. First, we got Ingram in net instead of Vemelka. I'm sure a lot of people have opinions on that, but Utah scores early. McBain assisted from Cole and Stenlin, just throwing pucks on net, go to the front of the net for a greasy rebound, and that's what happens. I was so excited to watch this game. I thought for sure Utah would have won this game. Last game on a 3-game homestand. You're against Washington, who played the night before, against Vegas, who won. It's rare a team wins back-to-back games on the road. So I thought for sure Utah, this was going to be a good game for Utah to get back in the win column. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way. So maybe my expectations kind of made this game a little bit worse to watch. So Utah's up 1-0, 3.5 minutes into the game. And then Oli Mata is robbed on a great chance in tight, but he's denied. Then Utah goes on a power play. Everything's going well in this game the first 7 or 8 minutes or so. On this power play, Utah doesn't score, but Gunther hits a crossbar. There was a nice Kesselring point shot. He hits the post as well. I mean, hockey's a game of inches. This game could have been completely different if, hundreds of years ago, whoever made a net made the post an inch or so wider than regulation size today. But unfortunately, we don't live in that reality. So first 8 minutes, pretty good for Utah. And then in a matter of 10 seconds, it all goes to hell pretty much. Washington scores back-to-back goals in 10 seconds. The first goal, it's a Lamoureux giveaway, sort of miscommunication with Carcone. As a defenseman, never throw the puck up the middle, even though he had 2 Utah players there. And that was a great pass to Carcone. It's just, I guess the forwards usually don't expect a pass right up the middle. It's a very high risk play, high reward play. Carcone misses the pass. Dylan Strome, former Coyote, banks it off Ingram's leg behind the net. That's a weak one for Ingram, but again, a defensive giveaway in your own zone is pretty unacceptable. Then 10 seconds later, very next shift, very next shot, right off the face-off, Utah gives up a 2-on-1 and they score on it to make it 2-1. And then immediately after that, Utah goes on a penalty kill. Thankfully, they kill it off. Ovechkin was on for the full 2 minutes. And then a second after that power play expired, Ovechkin finds a puck, has time and space to pick it, and he scores to make it 3-1. That's 3 goals in about 3 minutes in the first period. This went down south very quickly. After going down 3-1, there was a nice chance by Keller going through his legs. He gets denied. Another power play for Utah. Turns into a 5-on-3 power play, and they still can't convert. And on that 5-on-3 power play, Ingram had to make 2-on-1 saves shorthanded. So you could, say, hey, Ingram should have had 1 or 2 of those goals, and then he saves back-to-back 2-on-1 breaks shorthanded. So we kept the team in it in that early part of the first period. And then after that 5-on-3 Utah didn't score on, there was a disallowed goal by Washington for goaltender interference, which I agreed with that. So Utah goes on the power play because of the failed challenge. It's at the end of the first period, so it transitions to the second period. They don't score on that power play, but Keller hits a crossbar, so that's 3 posts already about 21 minutes into this game. And then Utah goes on a 5-on-3 penalty kill, and Ovechkin gets his second of the night to make it 4-1. Ingram gets pulled. Vemelka goes in. That's 4 goals on 13 shots for Ingram. Definitely not a good night for Ingram. And then Utah goes on a power play. They don't score on it again. Keep count how many times I say they don't score on the power play. Keller had a great chance, an open net off to the side. He shoots a one-timer, but it hits his own player, Kerfoot, who's standing in front of the crease. Thankfully, on the next shift, the first line gets out there. They score. It's Nick Bukestad assisted by Schmaltz and Keller. So it's only 4-2 near the end of the second period. There is some rough stuff between Krause and Wilson. Wilson just throwing punches on a defenseless Krause while he's laying on the ice with no helmet. They gave Wilson the extra 2 minutes, which I agree with. Maybe should have been more. You don't punch someone on the ground without a helmet. This isn't the UFC here. So again, a power play for Utah, they don't score on it. We go into the third period, they start the period on another power play, they don't score on it. If you're keeping track at home, that's 7 power plays Utah did not score on. Just completely unacceptable. And what's worse is they've had a lot of practice time on this homestand. The games are really spaced out. So Turney and his special team staff had a lot of time to just hone in that power play and penalty kill. More importantly, the power play. They had a lot of time to practice it, and it looks like it hasn't improved at all. And now you're going on a 4-game Eastern road trip with 0 practice time. So you're not going to be able to practice the power play at all. It's just, they should have spent at least one full day, maybe an 8-hour office job day, just concentrating on the power play. Just a full 8 hours. It's like you work at 9 to 5 and just focus on power play. They didn't really do that, I'm pretty sure. So they go 0 for 7. Utah was playing pretty well early in the third period. They had the possession, they had the offensive zone pressure, but again, Washington scores back-to-back goals to make it 5-2 and 6-2. The 5-2 goal, a player just walks around Lamoureux and shoots it short side on Vejmelka, that's a savable goal right there. And then the 6th goal is a 5-hole off the rush. Again, Lamoureux, it may have deflected off his stick. That's 3 goals where Lamoureux is the defenseman that maybe causes the goal. Definitely had the ability to stop all 3 of those goals, even though 3 of those goals were savable goals. So who do you blame? Do you blame the goalie? Do you blame Lamoureux? I think maybe probably one of Lamoureux's weakest games. I would not be surprised if Turney scratches Lamoureux for next game just to say, hey man, those 3 goals, you could have defended better, and those wouldn't have went in. And then this is a 3-2 game, not a 6-2 game. So that's my opinion. Obviously, there's a lot of things wrong with this game, not just Lamoureux. Goaltending, power play, just completely terrible this game. So it's 6-2 Washington. There's a nice curve foot to Hayden shot right in front of the net. Hayden misses the whole net, even though he's right in front of the crease. And then a nice fight between McBain and Tom Wilson. McBain injured Ovechkin by running into him accidentally, not on purpose, and Ovechkin had to leave the game. I don't think it looked too serious, but I still don't have an update on Ovechkin's injury, so I hope that Ovechkin's okay. I would love to see him break the record sooner rather than later. So shots on goal, Utah 26, Washington, almost said Ovechkin, 24, 0 for 7 on the power play, 2 for 3 on the PK, 53% on the faceoffs. 5-on-5, again, Utah dominated. So, I mean, Utah's doing everything right 5-on-5. It's just a power play. 28th in the league, basement-dwelling power play. It lost them the game here. They had so many chances to make this game just easier for Utah. Even when it was 1-0 Utah, they had a power play there with 2 posts. That could have made it 2-0. So many times where they're just 2 goals away or 1 goal away to make it a tightly contested game. They really need the power play to come through. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's the exact same power play unit as last season. Last season, it was automatic. They were so good on the power play. It's just Sergachev is in there instead of Dursey, and Sergachev's better than Dursey. So it's the same forward group, Keller, Schmaltz, Gunther. They're starting to throw in Kerfoot there instead of Hayden. Power play number 2 has no identity. I don't even know what they're trying to do out there. But to be honest, they're only out there for like 30 or 40 seconds. It's usually power play number 1 that's out there for a minute and a half. They're always trying to find Gunther for the one-timer. It worked early in the season. He's having a bit of trouble now. Keller, I feel, has not a lot of space or time as compared to last season. Last season, Keller could pretty much do whatever he wanted. He could take a shot. He could use Schmaltz as a tic-tac-toe play where he passes it to Schmaltz. Schmaltz immediately right back to Keller, and Keller one-times it. That worked a lot last year, but it seems like it's too congested this season. Maybe opponents are shutting down Keller a lot and it's not really working, and they're always giving it to Keller to start the passing play on the power play. He dictates how they're going to score. Maybe they need to switch it off to the other side and maybe alleviate some pressure. Not sure. Maybe they need some point shots by Sergachev. He scored in back-to-back games earlier in the week. Just the power play needs some sort of work. It's the same power play coach as well from last season. It's a new hire 2 seasons ago, the former Washington Capitals power play coach. So it should be well. It should be doing good. Just they're a bit snake bitten. If there's a worse term than snake bitten, I would use it there. Again, 5-on-5, 60% plus of the possession was in favor of Utah, so they're holding the puck much more than Washington. High danger chances, Utah had 7, Washington had 2 high danger chances, 5-on-5 for Washington. Expected goals, 2.5 for Utah, 1.18 for Washington. So that's 1.18 expected goals, but in actual goals, Washington scored 5. So to me, that's bad goaltending, bad defensive play. So analytically, Utah's good 5-on-5. Maybe just get a good power play. And, this season's kind of a bit going off the rails. Now you're 3 points out of the playoff spot. You got a tough road trip on the East Coast, 4 games in like 6 nights or so. So this season could really fall off a cliff quickly. Boston just got embarrassed at home last night by Columbus, so I doubt Boston is going to lose back-to-back games at home, because that's Utah's first game on the road, Boston, Thursday night. So I don't expect Boston to lose that game by being embarrassed last night. So it's going to be a tough time for Utah. Goalie needs to be better. Defense needs to be better. Power play needs to be 100% way better than it's showing. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.